Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to KJ's What Happened. I know I probably don't sound super enthused. It's been a really long day. I uploaded a new video earlier, so I've been working on that over the last few days. So hopefully you had a chance to see it. But enough about me. How are you guys doing? How are you making it out there? Around here the last few weeks, I've tried to not put a whole lot of the news articles in concerning the C virus, right? But it's getting harder and harder to avoid that. That being said, I did a pretty good job of it this week as well. In fact, this week is a little heavy on the on video footage that's really weird and cool. I like this kind of stuff. You'll see. But I've got a lot of cool video footage this week. A few stories about the C virus, but then kind of a mix of everything else. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks for joining us. I have a sponsor. If you're interested, there's a link below the video player. If you haven't started prepping, it might be a good idea to look into it. It's a prep company called My Patriot Supply, and just go through the link below if you're interested. Even these guys are running weeks behind, though. I've got to tell you. I mean, they're all getting hammered. All these food supply companies, these prepping companies, are really getting hammered right now. And there's some stories tonight we'll get into also concerning bank runs. There's already bank runs happening in some areas. So we're seeing things like that. Where people are going to start panicking. I mean, you can still go to the grocery store and find most of what you need and all this. And I don't know, people, they always, what is it? The unknown. That's what most people have a fear of, is the unknown, right? And there's a lot of lost people in this world, right? There's a lot of lost people. I guess, in a sense, we all are, right? I mean, from the beginning, my belief is until we find Christ and get right with the Lord God, and there you go, then you're awake, right? Truly awake. But still, there's a lot of lost people in this world. So, and they're putting their faith in all these things, these movements that don't mean anything, right? All these man-made movements. That's the other thing. It's really interesting what's taking place, whether how real it is or not, or organic it is or not. But this is really going to start making people put things in perspective. Their lives, what matters, what's important. It's just in the beginning. We're just getting started in this, but I think that's that's going to be a positive that's going to come out of it. A lot of people are going to be in a form of reflection they may not have ever even experienced before, like really looking at their lives, like, oh wow, how did I become this? I don't know. We'll see. No, I'm not talking about myself. Come on, stop. I'm always in self-reflection. That's just my nature, you know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Let's just go ahead and get right into it here. There we go. Let's do that. Do that. And there we are. Missing the mark. Ex-Warren staffers. This is Elizabeth Warren. She was running for a Democrat presidential nominee. Ex-Warren staffers face outrage over campaign tattoos eerily similar to Holocaust concentration camp numbers. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Former staffers for Elizabeth Warren have been taken to the woodshed over tattoos meant to memorialize her ill-fated campaign, which just happened to closely resemble markings given to Holocaust concentration camp prisoners. Intending to commemorate the Democratic senator's failed bid for the presidency, at least two former Warren staffers thought tattoos displaying the hex code for the campaign's Liberty Green theme would be a clever tribute until Twitter caught wind of it. In an avalanche of criticism, netizens wasted no time in pointing out the obvious, albeit accidental, reference to Nazi atrocities proudly displayed by the two ex-employees. Wow. There you have it. That's the story. Whoa. All right, so I told you there was a lot of extra weird tonight. Here's one. I don't know exactly what it is. You know, maybe it is just some kind of a camera glitch or something. In this case, I'm not sure. But I'll give you a little background on this David Duke guy. I mean, my opinion is he's definitely connected with CIA and certain types of ops because he's supposed to be this figurehead or past figurehead of the KKK. He was like a white dragon or something like this. And then he eventually got into politics, and you know he's running as a Republican, I believe, right? So, and even in this, he's trying to say him and Trump are basically the same guy and stuff like this. But you know, honestly, it's not about the politics or any of that right here. It's just about look at this guy's eyes. I mean, this is a good example of just straight up slits. You know, straight demon eyes, right? Just demon slits, cat eyes, some people call them. Now, again, hey, maybe it's something with the video. I don't know, but you judge for yourself here. If it'll play. There you go.
We both simply sound like you. Vote for Trump for president, David Duke for the U.S. Senate, and let's take America back. The only man the media hates more than Donald Trump is me, David Duke. But they may give him my most hated by the media award. They hate Trump and me because we oppose the massive immigration that will destroy America. We vow to protect American jobs.
See, watch. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here?
Industry. We defend our heritage.
Ooh, look at that.
Trump even says we should say,
sorry about that. Let's try it again.
Merry Christmas instead of the PC garbage. The media says he sounds like me, but you know what? We both simply sound like you. Vote for Trump for president, David Duke for the U.S. Senate, and let's take America back. The only man the media hates more than Donald Trump is me, David Duke. But they may give him my most hated by the media award. They hate Trump and me because we oppose the massive immigration that will destroy America. We vow to protect American jobs and industry.
There you go. That's pretty good. Pretty good freeze frame. Anyway, again, maybe it's just the I'll turn this one off. It keeps wanting to start over.
The only man the media hates more than Donald Trump is me, David Duke. But they may give him my most hated by the media.
No, I can't close the window. Okay, hold on. There you go. Anyway, there you have it. I looked earlier to see if anybody else noticed it, and no one else mentioned the eyes. So, anyway, there you go. What do you know? Here's another one. This is from the series Vikings on the History Channel. And look at that screenshot of the actor. I don't even know, the background on this or anything, but that was a pretty interesting catch. I don't believe that's the way the actor's eye looks normally. And I don't think it was for a scene or anything. I could be wrong. Maybe some of you guys watched that show, Vikings. That's a pretty crazy looking eye right there, isn't it? Check this out. This is pretty interesting. It says an old video has recently surfaced from one of David Hogg's classmates saying David shouldn't even be in our school. He's 25 from California, with the annotation, my debate partner is a crisis actor. Check this out. David Hogg is one of those tools of the state, that was used, and I think still is to some degree, to push for, we say gun control, but ultimately it's gun confiscation is what these people want. But anyway, just a tool of the state this kid was. But let's check some of this out. It's a short clip. Turn up the volume a little.
Right. Really? Yeah, like he's not even supposed to be in our school. He's like 25 and he's from California, even though he's my debate partner. What the hell? Shocking. Right. Really? Yeah, like he's not even supposed to be in our school. He's like 25 and he's from California, even though he's my debate partner. What the hell? Shocking. Right. Really?
I'm in the middle of the thunderstorm, by the way. You may hear that. It's really loud out there.
What the hell? Shocking.
See, look at that. That looks like another kind of a slit eye again. Maybe it's just the, I don't know. Maybe it's the angle or the lens or the this or that. I don't know. But anyway, thought you guys might like that. Here we go. We're on a roll. I told you there was a lot of extra weird stuff tonight. This is Stephanie Grisham at the G20 not long ago, just last year. This is a good example. They left a link beneath this to the original video because on this one they've closed in on it some. But even the original shows it. I mean, it's a really good capture. Decide for yourself here. Check this out. I'll play it a few times. Oh, there's no audio anyway. Check that out, right? Here, I'll play it in slower motion. Okay, now watch. See, watch. And then boom. It's pretty wild, huh? There's that thunder. Interesting, eh? What do you think? Is it just the angle, the lens, or are we seeing these things actually manifest before our eyes? We were told about the wheat and the tares. Does that apply here? Beings that live amongst us, grow with us. We're married to them. We go to school with them. We're friends with them. They're in your family. They're intermixed with us, the wheat and the tares. But inside, we have the Holy Spirit, right? God's kids. And then the tare, and this is different from people that just haven't accepted Christ or anything or God yet either. It's a whole other race. Tares, beings, again, that look like us, but they're shapeshifters. But they're hollow on the inside. It's like the tares, right? Something to think about. Or maybe it's just the camera, it's the lighting, I don't know. This right here, I don't even really need to hear what this guy's got to say, but this is, I'm sure you saw this, because this was a big, nationwide story. I saw this on the nightly Nation News or ABC News Nightly, and they were running this story and running this video, and it's just like, of course they are. This is what they're doing. They're putting that symbol out for everybody. And, it's associated with the C virus. And there's a lot of stuff with Tom Hanks that's really interesting too. I need to, try to do maybe a big video on that sometime, like something strange is happening to Tom Hanks or something, because more and more is coming out about him. It's really interesting with him. Also, there's old pictures you can see of him doing the hidden hand, right? The very popular Freemason gesture. So you can look that up, Tom Hanks' hidden hand. So there's already been Masonic symbolism and all that associated with them. And now we see his son coming out with another major Masonic symbol. And what are those over to the left of the eye? It looks like black suns. It even looks like, I doubt it's the C virus, but that's kind of what a virus looks like, right? I don't know. Most likely more black suns, I'm guessing. Who knows? But there you have it. But that's why this is like 15 million views, just the tweet alone here. So yeah, they're just putting the symbol out there, making it obvious, right? Associated with the C virus situation. Riot police fire pepper balls at University of Dayton students who protest the virus shutdowns on campus. The constant drip of virus fear being pushed by the media and certain government officials now only has people on edge, but it has some people fighting back to what they believe is an overreaction by authorities. And see, these are just the beginnings, and this is something, people should be concerned about. It's going to be stuff like this. It's like when the Marines are locking down your neighborhood for curfew and things like this at night, or perhaps it'll be the UN. I mean, that'll probably be later down the road, right? the United Nations coming in. But at first, it'll be National Guard and then perhaps our own troops and things like this. This is just worst case. This is, it gets really bad, right? Scenario. Okay. This is it gets bad. So we're all locked down. And then there's curfews on top of that. I mean, they're already talking about shutting down interstate travel. Wow. That's huge. And that really sucks. I like taking little road trips here and there, especially down to Texas, so that's not cool. But yeah, and that's just the beginning. I mean, they're looking at airlines, of course, or some of those have already shut down. Lots of major industries are shutting down. They're going right along with this, right? Hey, this is perfect. And it's working on so many levels. They really do kind of want to collapse the system. That's the whole idea behind the Antichrist showing up anyway, right? It's going to be full-on chaos, not just in America, but all over the world. And then there's going to have to be a need for that savior, right? So it's interesting with this stuff. Do you hear that thunder? It's really loud. University of Dayton students took to the streets after the school canceled classes, on-campus events, and gatherings, and closed student housing. Wow, over 1,000 students gathered on Lowe's Street by late Tuesday, jumping on cars and throwing bottles at police, the University of Dayton said in a written statement. So there's a news story. Let's check this out.
Campus overnight as those coronavirus concerns continue to grow. A large crowd of students gathered in reaction to the news that university housing would close for most students due to spread of the virus. 2 News reporter Kiana Deiches joins us live from the scene. She has the latest on this developing story.
Lauren, this is Lowe Street just behind me here. It's in the Student South neighborhood. Here, UD officials say a crowd of more than 1,000 people grew around 11 o'clock last night. Officials say they began throwing objects and bottles both in the street and at police. And crews just a moment ago began cleaning up here. You can see them just behind me here, and even some of that evidence still on the ground. Now take a look at this video we have of the scene. Here you can see the large crowd of people gathering as police were moving down the street. Officials say the students were jumping on cars. Police then showed up in riot gear, and units from across the city were called in to help. One student we spoke to says once the pepper balls were fired, students started to run.
People were almost about to get trampled over. Like I had to push people off people on the ground so they didn't get trampled over. I don't know. It just didn't seem like the best course of action.
And you know what I've been looking for? Not heavily yet, but I need to more. And maybe some of you guys know about this. Have you seen any connections being made between Jade Helm and the reaction to what's happening right now with the C virus? That's something just over the last few days it's been in the back of my mind to start looking more into, and just trying to see if there's anything. At least stay aware and open to it just to see. Maybe I'll stumble on something, but any of you know anything about that? Any direct connections to Jade Helm, which is setting up a process in place? And I wonder if it's being utilized right now as a reaction to what's happening. I don't know. But as I was saying, and I was saying worst case scenario, this is worst case scenario. They lock down your neighborhoods and troops in the streets. But this particular worst case scenario could be next week at the rate all this stuff is happening in some places in America. I mean, look what's already happened. We don't even know what's really happening in China, right? I mean, we don't really even know what's happening over there. Italy's freaking out, falling apart, but other areas don't seem to be hit as bad. So we just have to see how it goes. But isn't it interesting just how quickly all these, the tech industry and all these other just massive corporations and companies so quickly folded, and universities, of course, it's very liberal, of course, universities, or extreme left at this point universities, but these Marxists, and they want to collapse the system. They want to see it all burn. And that's even been telegraphed through a lot of things I've covered throughout the years. This idea that they really want it all to burn down, and then they'll build up from the ashes. Remember what they secretly told us at Eurovision? I think it was 2019 with Madonna on the stage, acted the entire thing out, even the sacrifice of the Christians, the sheep, and they were all wearing biohazard gas masks. Go back and look at that one. more relevant now than ever, really. But she reenacted the whole scenario that they want to play out. And then at the end, it was, nuclear holocaust in the background. Everything was burned, to the ground. And then they were the last, to rise. So there's that. And there was that video from Deborah Harry and I think it was Joan Jett. Pretty sure it was those two. Another one had all the same symbolism connected to a lot of other of the same message I've shown you guys. And that was the overall message in that as well. They had the biohazard masks on. They were talking about nuclear war, that it has to come and it's all going to be wiped out and destroyed. And American Horror Story showed that. There was a whole season where it was Satanists who planned the end of the world, and through their connections through every organization and military and all that, they caused nuclear holocaust, wiped everything out, and they had bunkers underneath the ground where they would continue and rise up from the ashes. So this isn't a new idea. It's been out there for quite a while, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, eh? But this is of concern. It is, especially here in America. All right, in America, lots of people really appreciate their guns, and then lots of people actually love their guns, and lots of people in general have guns. So this kind of thing is going to be a new experience for Americans. This is going to be a brand new experience for Americans who, have seen this kind of thing play out in TV shows and movies for years. And they've even seen it play out in other countries in real life, but never here. So this is going to be a whole new experience. I should say experiment. Certainly, there's elements of this I believe are an experiment. It really is a worldwide, global, if you will. Some of you don't like that word, but global, a global example of trauma-based mind control for everybody. This is trauma-based mind control for humanity, because everyone's experiencing the same fear of the same thing, right? So we're seeing a lot of interesting reactions come out of this. We'll see what happens. But no fear, right? No fear. It really is a test. It's going to be a real big test for our faith, for our walk, how much we're really going to trust God in these times too. Indonesia, asteroid spotted exploding behind Mount Marapi. This is pretty cool. I'll play this real quick to show the video, really.
Visible for about 15 seconds until it goes behind the volcano.
It's cool.
It either lands in the ocean or on the ground. Watch, you're going to see a bright flash here.
Now watch for the flash.
Looks like the sun is just getting ready to come up. Watch for the flash.
Still waiting. There it is.
Look at that.
So that was the impact.
And we're going to do it again, and we're going to, and if you count, that thing is visible for about 15 seconds
big one.
until it goes behind the volcano.
It's crazy how
it either lands.
It's big and really close to the ground.
Or on the ground. Watch, you're going to see a bright flash.
Right, there you go. That's all. I wish it was better footage. Too bad. Tennessee lawmakers advance measure to designate CNN, Washington Post as, quote, fake news outlets. It's nice to see this. I hope we see more of stuff like this. Why not? It's all collapsing anyway. So, right? Really take them down. Tennessee legislators advanced an effort Wednesday to officially recognize both Washington Post and CNN as being fake news and part of the media wing of the Democratic Party. Members of the Republican-controlled Judiciary Committee of the Tennessee State, that's a lot of words, House of Representatives, voted 13-5 to pass the joint resolution with 4 lawmakers abstaining. Anyway, I guess that's about the story. That's about all you got. Okay, what's this one? Oh, wow, this is a good one. Wow. Okay, guys. Back to weird stuff. No, it's not the eyes this time. I like the eyes stuff, okay? Sometimes I think there's really solid captures of things like this that I think it's spiritual perhaps, or it's maybe one of these things showing what's really inside, if you will. I believe that. I've believed that for years. I've done a few videos on that. But then there's some that are questionable. It's just something, again, with the camera or the this or the that or the whatever. Right? I get it. But anyway, explain this one. This is interesting. 3.4 million views. Cool. When I first saw this, it didn't have anything like that. So I'm glad to see this getting its views. Just check this out. Watch the folder. And that's really all you got to do. This is from Sky News. Okay, check it out.
It's a critical year for tackling climate change.
I'll let it play a few times.
To reaching net zero by 2050. But how much will coronavirus impact what many believe?
Lisa Holland reports.
It's a critical year for tackling climate change, and the government is.
Stupid Twitter. They're talking about climate change too, by the way. That's interesting. I don't know if it really applies, but come on, let's go, Twitter. And watch. Green. What do you think? Glitch in the Matrix? Some people may say Mandela effect. Keep stopping right there. Here, I'll just close the window and try it again. Watch it small screen. Red folder. Still red. Then just goes in front of the car. Now it's green. And it still has the same, it's got like a gold seal on the front of it right there in the, see? With some writing underneath. And you can still see that when it goes green. So how do you explain that? They mentioned climate change, and then right when he gets on the other side of the car and it goes green, she said the C virus word. Huh. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what to think. Human deer hybrid with glowing red eyes spotted bounding across countryside. Okay, not sure about these. We always have to be careful when we deal with the Daily Star, but these can be fun sometimes, so we'll see. And, you know, sometimes it's truth masked in garbage stuff like this. We learned that from The Kingsman. Did you ever see that movie, The Kingsman? Let's check this out. It says a bizarre 6-foot-tall creature described as a human deer is roaming Grimsby, according to people who claim they've witnessed it. Lee Solway, host of the Realm of the Supernatural podcast, told Daily Star Online there have been 5 or 6 sightings of the creature in the Lincolnshire region in the last 40 years. Every witness describes it the same way. They claim it's a half-man, half-deer with antlers that mostly walks on 2 legs. He reportedly has brown fur, a mane, is the same height as a tall human man, and most disturbingly of all, has glowing red eyes. Solway says it sounds like a puka, a figure in Celtic folklore that can change its shape. It often presents itself as a horse, goat, cat, dog, or hare, but can also take a human from that, has certain animalistic features such as ears or a tail. I mean, come on, we know what that sounds like. A shape-shifting demon. Some may even say a shape-shifting fallen angel. But of course, no, it's a puka. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what they called it. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, it's a kookaladoo. Yeah, those things have been around for thousands of years. Shape-shifting. They got the strength of 5 men, red glowing eyes, sharp teeth. Total monsters. But yeah. They're ookla-dooklas. That's what they're called. No, those are demons. Demons. This guy believes in demons over here. I just want to play this one up again for good measure. It still didn't get a whole lot of views from other people, but it's from a very small YouTube channel, On N, capital N. It's one of the coolest sightings I've seen in a while. I'm going to wind up putting this in a video I'm doing pretty soon, hopefully finished pretty soon, about some UFO stuff and Space Force. But I like this footage, so I just want to share it again just for a little bit. If you want to see the original, I don't know what you're going to type in the YouTube search engine to come up with all that, but you can go to the YouTube channel On with a capital N, and you'll see this. To me, sometimes these are the best, though. It's just kind of, you can tell it's somebody that normally doesn't upload stuff like this. They catch it naturally. This one's got 8 minutes of footage. I'm not going to play it all, but just, you know, to me, this feels really authentic. Check these things out. It's cool looking.
저쪽에도 있다. 저기 한 번씩 계속 나오다. 저기 희한하네. 이게 뭐지? 뭐 하는 거 있나? 이쪽에 신기하다. 저기 비칠 리가 없는데 맞지? 아니 나도 좀 찍어놔야겠다. 아직 확실히 모르니까 없어요. 저기 있다. 저 뭐지 진짜? 뭐야 이게? 희한하다.
I think it's incredible. And I've seen other videos that show this same anomaly. And again, I know these are the ones where you'll lose some people because some people just can't get into it. They think everything has got an explanation. But I believe, and I've been saying for many years, over the last few years, that things are shifting and we're beginning to see more of this real activity. Sure, there's a lot of fake stuff out there, but I believe I've shown some good examples throughout the years of what I believe is real spiritual activity, signs in the skies and things like this. Anyway, I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and move along. Just want to share a little bit of that. So this one right here, it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about this. This is, well, it's, I guess you can say ironic to say the least, but I'm not sure. Trump retweets White House photo of him fiddling, says he doesn't know what this means. But that's, so what do you think of just considering the times we're in and seeing the president of the United States with a tweet like this coming out? And he retweeted it. Someone else made it. Dan Scavino, whoever that is. But it's called, my next piece is called Nothing Can Stop What's Happening. And it came out March 8th, 2020. So this came out just about a week ago, just over a week ago. Right as this stuff was really starting to build, right, with what's happening. It's interesting, eh? Does that remind you of anything right off the top of your head? I know a lot of you get it. As Rome was burning, you know, there you go. Again, I'm not jumping on either side on this, but I think it's just very interesting, the timing of things like this that come out. And what does it mean exactly? I guess the future will tell, you know. Soon too. You know, a lot of what we do here is we keep our eyes open for things and we share information with each other and we try to piece everything together and put the pieces together and figure out the bigger picture. And a lot of times we figured out some really interesting things. And then some things are still left in the open because they haven't happened yet. And I'm not a predictor of the future, and I'm not into that kind of thing. And I don't go looking for predictions of the future, you know, so it makes it tough. So we have to kind of watch, and we're right in the thick of it as it's happening. We're all reporting on it, you know, so it's an interesting process. I was talking to a friend. We were joking around about this a couple days ago about what if it actually did turn out to be Trump, that he really is the beast, that he is the Antichrist? What if? I'm just saying, because, we're told it's going to be a 7-year reign. So the first 3.5 years, we're going to be very productive and people are going to be happy and there's going to be a lot of good things happening. And then there's a switch, and then that's when everything goes to hell, basically. But if you think about it, we're only a couple months away or so from that 3.5-year mark of Trump's presidency. I'm just saying. And now all this stuff's popping up and coming out. So to me, these are, even if you will, fun thoughts to entertain, to think about and to wonder, because I see plenty of stuff on the other side where Trump's the savior and he's the key to it all and all that. And I find myself in the middle of a lot of this. So I've told you guys my thoughts on Trump through some videos I've made, and he definitely has all the symbolism for being the tip of the spear, that the event will most likely happen under him. I've been saying that for years in my videos. I wasn't thinking this could be an event. I was thinking perhaps it'll be, the bomb off the coast of New York City, the nuke, and the tidal wave in New York City. But hey, I stay open to things. So I don't know. Is this the event? I'm not sure. Perhaps the beginning, the setup of it all. Or, will we come out of this? Is this going to be a thing that just lasts for a couple months and then all of a sudden everything's back to normal? That's what a lot of people are hoping for. But just today, I saw a thing where Trump was saying it's going to be summer, right? It's going to be a few months that we're going to be keeping America locked down. So it'll be interesting to see how crazy it goes. I wonder if they'll activate the FEMA regions. And if they do, will they even let us know? I'm not sure, but that'll be interesting to see how that plays in. And it makes me think about I Pet Goat 2. The very beginning of the animation is they're in a camp, right? It's the goats. It's a goat in a camp, right? But we'll see, man. It's who knows? Who really knows? We're taking it day by day. It's nothing to be afraid of. That's why it's not cool to be trying to predict things. And this is how it's going to play out. And I see, I don't know. I just know I'm going to take it day by day. I pray about everything. I stay calm about these things. I stay cool. I'm prepared. I have a backup plan. If you're not prepared, even if you don't want to go through like my sponsor or somebody else's sponsor for food prep, take maybe $50, go to a Dollar General or one of those stores and stock up on beans and rice. And, you can go online and look up best affordable prep supplies or something like that. You'll find so many great ideas and places to go get this stuff. So you could prep yourself fairly well for, say, $50, take a couple hundred. You could probably take care of you and your family for quite a while. You're going to have a lot of groceries to carry into the house if you spend it all in one day at the Dollar General. But, hey, maybe just increments, over time. So there we have it. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. I thought this might be a good time to return to this, to watch Gray State again, because I used a portion of Gray State at the very end of my movie, The Scariest Movie Ever Made, 2020. And it is kind of an example of the end. And even in this clip, you'll see here, they're talking about quantitative easing. They show you how it all kind of starts falling into place. And I just saw in the news yesterday, some countries talking about quantitative easing now. So anyway, if you didn't know, the man that made this movie died under weird circumstances. There's been a documentary or two made about him. One of the documentaries basically made him out to be the bad guy, that he went crazy and killed himself and his entire family, or had like a child and a wife. That's how one of the documentaries played out. But then there's other videos and documentaries out there that show different possibilities. But there was a lot of weird things. They also opened themselves up to witchcraft and things like this. That was all proven to be true. So, I don't know. I can see a few different sides of this. But no matter what happened, I'm grateful that he put this together, because I think it's very interesting when you line it up to the things we're seeing take shape right now. Here you go.
Travel suspended. Look familiar?
Pretty much it. I don't want to play the whole thing just because, well, I guess I might as well. Here, I'll finish it out. I doubt they would strike these. I don't think the people that own this. I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't even know if they're still around or not. Somebody else maybe that's running it now. There you go. The end of it, of course, shows the guillotine, and the people running it are Freemasons. Right? There's the Masonic apron there. There you go. So that is his whole situation. His story is fascinating. You should look that up sometime if you haven't seen anything on that. This is stuff I didn't know. I only follow limited amounts of politics, usually just the funny stories or the weird ones that stand out, like the tattoos with Warren staffers and stuff like this. Just because I don't care. I mean, I get it's a circus and it just makes your blood pressure boil no matter what side you're on, and it's just no good. We know this. However, there are things that are important that come out sometimes out of the political realm, of course. They're talking about the finding Anthony Weiner's laptop and some of the information connected there, and the Clinton emails as well. Check this out.
675,000 Clinton emails when they got Anthony Weiner's laptop in a search warrant because of all his sex perversion issues. It was all the Clinton emails, the Clinton Foundation, her Secretary of State emails, Huma Abedin's emails. Lots of people emailed Huma as a proxy for Hillary. So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted. I have no doubt on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Yeah, let that sink in for a second, huh? Wow. I just thought this was a good kind of breakdown. This person says Warner Brothers suspend production, Netflix stops all production and pre-production, shuts offices, Disney closes parks, halts filming worldwide. Now Universal, Hollywood is in retreat. Their CEOs are fleeing. Meanwhile, others are very busy building. Wink. Yeah, exactly. That, this is that system they're building around us. Like we'd wondered in the past, is this wall ultimately going to be for us? Some people wondered. Perhaps. This is just a weird thing that Lady Gaga put out that I stumbled across. She says, beware vampires, the blood you choose to suck, choose wisely. It may fill your pores from the inside out with a wicked poison unknown to you. Perhaps you took a bite of flesh you can't handle. Perhaps I am also a vampire or a new creature undead you have yet to meet. I would aim more for that, a different creature, a hybrid perhaps, or a tear. There's videos of her eyes flipping out as well. Inducing panic, media under fire for driving the C virus hype to epidemic levels. Really just the headline I wanted to share there, because we get that. That's all a part of this. It's like that 911 situation. The more fear they can put out into the public, the more they can get away with, right? There's whole generations now, or there's, a whole generation now that's grown up under people at the airport, when they go to the airport, putting their hands all over them. Think about that. Now there's a generation of kids growing up, teenagers by now, who their whole generation has been, all they've known is when you go to fly out of America or into America, big grown people are going to be able to put their hands all over you. It won't happen every time, but there's always that possibility. And they're going to touch your no-no, they're going to touch your toot-toot, and they're going to touch places you don't want them to touch. But it's the government, and it's okay, so get used to it. Then during the week, they get to go to school and learn Common Core and get even more dumbed down. See how all this works together? Surgeon General said the C virus less deadly than normal flu for children and young adults. That's just from March 9th. So about a week ago. Invited to join Stars Save the Earth, Greta's celebrity movement. Prince Harry is believed to have been tricked into conversation with the two guys on New Year's Eve and January 22nd on Vancouver Island. The Duke also made a number of stunning claims, including he and American former actress Meghan Markle, 38, are completely separate from the majority of the royal family. They made the decision to step back from public life. This is as he thinks he's talking to Greta Thunberg. They made the decision to step back from public life to protect Archie. See, that's interesting. The world is being run by sick leaders, and President Trump, who can be outsmarted, has blood on his hands for pushing his coal policy. Boris Johnson is a good man who is set in his ways. Greta and her followers have to take extreme measures to exact change. The UK political system, which offered Mr. Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn as options in December's general election, is broken, he says. I guess that's about the gist of it. There you go. There's your royal news for the week. Have you seen this clip? Joe Biden argues with a construction worker over guns and tells the guy he's full of it. Here it is. You gotta love these Joe Biden gaffes.
I support the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech. From the very beginning, I have a shotgun, I have 20 gauge, 12 gauge, my son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapons. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds? I did not say that. That's not. I did not say that. It's a viral video like the other ones are putting out that are simply a lie. Oh, he just clarified it. Wait. Take the AR-14s and look. Hold on. Hey, let's get moving. There's a lot of guys. Walking. I'm not worried.
So much.
Give me a break. Don't be such a worry about it. Hey, there's a lot of guys. Here's the deal. Are you able to own a machine gun? I said, are you able to own one? Machine guns are illegal. That's right. So AR-15's illegal. How is that a machine gun? No, it's not. Yeah, you need 100 rounds. You need 100 rounds in America. Handguns, and there are what you call assault rifles. Why are you advocating for assault rifles and people are buying handguns?
Anyway, that's that. He said it in the very beginning. You can barely hear it, but it's all good. You get it. But the reason I think it's interesting to see these gaffes from this guy is it just goes to show how dumb and ridiculous this system is. It really is. And how dumb they think we are. In this case, how dumb they think Democrats are in America, that they're just going to take this, that, yeah, this is your choice. Oof. I mean, there were people that were running on that side, that were Tulsi Gabbard, I think her name is. Out of all of them, that lady at least, now, but see, even with her, I think she's connected with the CFR. I'm pretty sure she's counsel for foreign relations. So I take that back. But before that, I thought in the very beginning, I was like, well, that might be a decent choice for everybody. Then I remembered, oh, yeah, she's connected to one of those groups. Maybe the Trilateral Commission. I'm pretty sure it's CFR she's in with. You can look that up. But so there you go. I guess so. There goes my point. They really had no good choices. They had no decent choices. Elizabeth Warren constantly lying. I mean, just all of them. Bernie being a straight up, burn it all down, socialist or communist. It's madness. But this is what they give the people. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop, right? The best America has to offer. It's unbelievable. It just goes to show you how dumb the system is, how ridiculous it is, and how broken it is, really. Oh, UFO video. Strange UFO lights in Mexico, from Mexico to Italy. Oh, okay. I guess there's a few. Let's see. There's some in the end of this here, it seems. We'll check some of this out for a little bit, though. This is from Hidden Underbelly 2.0. Check out Hidden Underbelly 2.0. Check this out. We'll watch some of this.
¿Otra vez regresaste?
Ah, no manches.
Te pegaron y se limpiaron.
Mira, ve. Acá se ve. ¿Cómo se ve? Mami, si no se bajó, acá ve. Acá ve, no mames, ya se corrió. Acá vengan, acá son las tres. Mira. Oye, güey, ahorita están grande, ¿verdad? Está más seguro, güey.
All right, there you go. See if there's a few here in the end.
Considering how low these lights seem to be. But I asked him why was the footage so short.
I guess it's explaining that this part, I guess from Italy, was a really short clip. But, with the 3 orbs there, I've talked about those a lot in some past videos. It seems a lot of times they show up in 3s. I always see that as, some people may think these are heavenly angels. You see, I'm just not with that, but that's just me. It depends on a lot of times how they show up, the experience people have with them. But a lot of the ones I believe are demonic interdimensionals will come in 3s, and I feel it's a mockery of the Trinity in its own sense. And I've shown you that. There's examples of that for years, of these things showing up like that in 3s. It's one of the great things about everyone having a phone in their hand. There's not a lot of great things about it, but that's one of the great things, is the kind of footage people have been able to capture now of these things for so many years. The Catholic Church pays fixers to cover up sexual abuse, and now they're speaking out. As survivors of child sex abuse continue to speak out against the priests that attack them, the Catholic Church continues to hide credible accused priests, allowing them to live, shop, walk, and freely roam communities throughout the U.S. But the communities of the Catholic Church have chosen to set up these places of respite, where hundreds of priests die peacefully without ever facing criminal charges, are carefully chosen. One former monk says his main task while employed by the church was to cover up and displace child molesting priests. He says the communities which housed many priests were purposefully selected in states that have laws favorable to the church, such as Missouri. Advocates and survivors, such as those affiliated with SNAP, the survivors network of those abused by priests, have shared these states with short statute of limitations on child sex abuse, such as Michigan and Missouri, are also known to be go-to places the church sends its pedophile priests. So Michigan and Missouri, eh? Missouri and Michigan join a growing list of states whose attorney generals have launched investigations into the Catholic Church and its cover-up of child sexual abuse. The investigations are leading to arrests in Missouri and beyond. Some dioceses are not cooperating, of course, with these investigations, while others have released lists of credibly accused priests upon request of attorney general offices. The Catholic Church must hold pedophilic priests accountable, honor survivors' pleas, and law enforcement's demands to be transparent and share their lists of credibly accused. Yep, I agree. There you have it. 1,000, it's a lot, 1,000 Michigan children to receive $80 million for being sexually abused in state institutions. This is from yesterday. $80 million for being abused in state institutions. A massive lawsuit representing over 1,000 children who were held and sexually abused in the Michigan correction system was recently settled as state's officials agreed to pay $80 million. Good for the victims. The lawsuit begins in 2013 and has been an uphill battle for the plaintiffs as the state fought them every step of the way. The massive payout comes after hundreds of children came forward with claims that they were sexually assaulted and harassed by corrections officers as well as incarcerated adults while in the state's care and detention centers across the state. Despite the size of the settlement by the Michigan Department of Corrections director and a spokesperson for the current attorney general cited the cost of litigation as their reason for settling, not guilt. We've got to look out at the length of time that we've been dealing with this and the amount of resources that frankly will be spent continuing to draw this out. Heidi Washington, the MDOC director, said during the call. Through a statement read by her spokesperson, Attorney General Dana Nessel said that although her office had vigorously defended against this lawsuit and has exhausted every single legal argument over the years, in the end, it was clear that continuing to engage in protracted litigation was not in the best interest of the people of the state. Sounds like a bunch of political talk to me, eh? Anyway, there you go. Good news. Good news for the kids. It's a lot of dough. It's a lot of bread. Have you seen this? This is just the circus continues. Honk, honk. Honk, honk. Alex Jones prepares lawsuit against Trump administration to stop potential interstate travel ban. Alex Jones, the popular conspiracy theorist who founded InfoWars, is preparing a lawsuit against the Trump administration in order to stop a possible interstate travel ban as the U.S. inches toward martial law. Although President Trump has not announced an interstate travel ban yet, he has said that it could be in the works if he feels it is necessary to stop the virus. Jones, who is one of Trump's most prominent backers, feels this would be crossing the line. In our view, while the virus crisis does present a real and present danger to public health, there's also something significant at stake, and that is our fundamental freedoms and rights as Americans, lawyer Norm Pattis said while appearing on the Alex Jones Show Monday. We have drafted a lawsuit titled Alex Jones versus Donald Trump, naming a number of Trump's cabinet officials in the event that Trump announces an interstate travel ban or something like it. We will go immediately into a District of Columbia court and ask for injunctive declaratory relief, he added. In other words, a ruling from a judge that the action is unlawful and an order from the judge barring implementation of it. If that judge rejects our claim, we will then go to the D.C. Court of Appeals. If that court rejects our claim, we will seek a hearing in the United States Supreme Court. Jones makes it clear that he is not doing this out of spite or malice, but rather to protect American constitutional liberties while the country is in a very precarious state. When I do this, it's not because it's President Trump. I like President Trump. The globalists definitely hate him, but they've maneuvered him into this impossible choice, this rock in a hard place. Because if he doesn't respond, they'll just trigger riots and other crises, and the media will trigger hysteria. I mean, I can't argue with that, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's all pro Alex Jones or not. I mean, there's an Illuminati card with him on it. I mean, I can never get that out of my head. You know, then some may make the argument, but that's why they put him on there, because they knew he was a real guy and they wanted to associate him with, and he could go on and on with this stuff. But no matter how you feel about him, I've had issues with him throughout the years because it was his work that originally woke me up and kind of created what I do now. You know, for me, it's what really garnered my interest in all this stuff was his Bohemian Grove video. And then we grow and we learn our own way, and you know, we find new people we're interested in, then we create our own stuff as time goes on. That's how it works, you know. So I was born in a sense from Alex Jones' work, you know. But then over the years, he's such an agitator, you know. He's obviously does stuff that makes all of us look like cuckoos and weirdos and dum-dums. And some of this stuff, it's just, I don't know how people can forgive him on some of these things and keep going with it. But then every now and then I'll listen to one of his shows still. I'll go to his website and listen, and almost everything he's saying, I'm nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm with all this, you know. So he's a complicated subject. Like I always say, with him, I'll eat the meat and I throw away the bones, you know. You can get the right information from all kinds of sources if you're following I believe the Holy Spirit, your spiritual discernment, as well as your logic, reason, common sense, critical thinking is very important. Use all of our facilities. That's the time we're in. We have to use all of our facilities to distinguish the truth out there. Right? I mean, we're living in fake news world. Honk, honk. You know, we're living in a circus world. It's crazy. So I'll continue here. Alex Jones, he continues, either he comes in with a clampdown or the globalists do it and brush him aside and make him irrelevant. The left has celebrated it, and we said, Trump, look out. They're setting you up. We were absolutely right, he said. President Trump issued a press conference on Monday urging people not to gather in groups larger than 10 people in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus. That means all your churches are shut down. That's something to consider, am I right? And will they start enforcing that? These are things I'm looking for. I don't want it to happen, but these are concerns. This is what we're looking for, right? Perhaps this is one of the reasons why they started all the censorship a few years ago. I always said it was to prepare for an event, and maybe this is a part of it. Maybe the event is going to be several things. That'll be the full event to bring the Antichrist in, right? But perhaps this is part of it. And they're already monitoring what people are talking about with this situation. So can you imagine what's going to happen if lying signs and wonders en masse started, you know, happening all over the world and in the skies, and all the madness that a lot of us have been, I don't want to say predicting, but seeing potential for over the years. Alien invasion, whether it be real or fake, both those possibilities exist. It's true. Can you imagine? So they're going to have to shut down some of the talk, or like try to guide, you know, the way the conversation goes, and you know they'll still be involved in it. Even worse. So we're seeing examples of it now. We're starting to see how it all works together. The censorship online with things that really matter in this world and big events. And it's no longer just right versus left BS. And now this is like a really big deal. It's a really big deal. I mean, this is affecting the entire world. And of course, YT, you know, trying to shut that down. They don't like just the regular people talking about it. They're okay if it's an authoritative source, as they call them, which all of those authoritative sources have been found to be fake news, right? That's the world we're in. Honk, honk. Welcome to the show. Climb in the car. There's room for 15. We're all clowns in this car. We have an invisible enemy, Trump said. This is a bad one. This is a very bad one. Each and every one of us has a critical role to play in stopping the spread and transmission of the virus, he added. If everyone makes this change or these critical changes and make sacrifices now, we will rally together as one nation and we can defeat this virus, and we're going to have a big celebration all together. With several weeks of focused action, we can turn the corner and turn it quickly. And see, I'm not one to immediately, this is it, it's all doom. I mean, call me naive, but I know my ultimate hope isn't in this world. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. Okay. I get that. But, it's also about seeing the good guys win, seeing evil have to pay a price here on this earth. I know they pay a price after, but I want to see something happen to them now. It's about stuff like that. It's about taking the good news that happens and actually being cool with it and being, all right, I can celebrate some of these little wins here and there, some of these good things that happen. I don't have to just be focused on the end of times and doom and evil all the time, right? That's not good for anybody. So we'll see how this plays out, huh? Let's see what happens. See what happens with this lawsuit. Evidence shows Director General of World Health Organization severely overstated the fatality rate of the virus, leading to the greatest global panic in history. So it's more of this. And, there's people that say, no, it really is the killer thing. See, I don't know. Maybe it's not now, but I feel like maybe it could be. Perhaps this is the setup, and then it'll mutate into something else. They could always put it in the planes, right? We're used to that. We call them chemtrails, but maybe they put something in the plane that connects with something that we all already have after a month or so of being exposed to this stuff in our countries, and it mutates and turns into something else that's really the real thing, like really the end, the new Black Plague or whatever, I don't know. I'm watching for everything. I watch for all of it, all the possibilities, and we have to take it day by day, right, as it comes. So we know there are people that are actually dying from it. We've seen some of this. We know it's a real thing. And we've seen, obviously, some people pushing it, promoting it, and making it a much bigger deal than what it should be or could be. And every day it changes, right? Every day it changes. So watch and wait and just stay tuned. I'm right there with you. And we'll see how it plays out. Because, ultimately, really, the logistics of it, we get the basics that this is a plan. They could use this as a plan to fully start forming in the final Antichrist beast system. That's the idea, right? Or could it be something that is temporary? It ends after a few months. We get beyond it. And then maybe there's some more good times, right? Maybe you still got a little time left here in this earth, maybe. Huh? But then after that, something comes. Regardless, the signs are here, guys. These are some of the biggest signs of the end, really. Again, like I said, that in America that we've experienced. This is going to be interesting. If we really start locking it down like that, this will be unlike anything we've experienced. And then we'll have to see how it plays out. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Are they going to start enforcing things at churches and stuff like this? You can no longer gather. The possibilities are endless, right? But then again, what if somehow, miraculously, in a few months or so or weeks, we get a hold of it in this country and it starts filtering away? Is that a possibility? Have some of you given up on that possibility? Some of you may have, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. New York homes encased in ice after freezing temperatures and strong winds. Just really cool pictures. That's why I pulled this up. I want to share that with you. Look at this. That is wild. Look at that. It's all ice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, isn't it? Oh, look at this. They got their drone on it. Awesome. Look at that. Wow. Buried. It's really cool. Thanks for the ride. Neat. Falling ice in Vermont. We saw a nice story about ice. Now we have to see a bad one. Falling ice in Vermont kills woman just after she discusses mortality. A couple married for nearly 50 years had just enjoyed a cocktail on their deck where they talked about their inevitable deaths. As they walked back inside their Vermont home, a piece of ice fell off the roof and fatally struck 73-year-old Linda Friedman Scharenberg in the back of the head. Oof, according to the couple's daughter. Scharenberg was knocked unconscious and fell into the snow face first, the Caledonian Record reported Tuesday. The paramedics worked to revive Scharenberg for an hour and eventually determined that even if she did wake up, she would not have cognitive function. Wow, and that's not fun. In the porch conversation, Myers said her father told Scharenberg he didn't know how he could live without her. Aw. Wow, it's pretty wild, though, huh? Canada man appeals court ruling against Grab Her vanity license plate. Grab Her. The Canadian man is set to appeal a new court ruling that revokes his vanity license plate that bears his last name, Grabber. Lauren Grabher of Nova Scotia claims he's been using his family name on his license plate without incident for nearly 3 decades. According to reports, the Department of Motor Vehicles first approved the Grabher license plate around 1990 and has renewed it without issue ever since. However, in 2016, an anonymous person complained about it to the Department of Motor Vehicles, claiming it promoted hatred against women. In response to the complaint, the license plate was canceled. Grabber and his attorneys have demanded the license plate being reinstated, claiming the decision was discriminatory, unreasonable, and a violation of free expression. Wow. Grabber. You got to admit, though, I guess it depends on what he's driving also, because I don't know. Do we know what he's driving? That could be a game changer. He could be driving a nice SUV, something, just a few years old. Maybe a nice sports car, something like that. Sure. I could, grab her on, say, like a newer vehicle, something nice, or a sports car, newer SUV, big old truck, maybe big old nice truck. I could maybe see that, but maybe. I wouldn't really think twice about it, really. But, then there's those old beat up 1972 vans out there, all rusty, that dark tint on the windows where you just can't see anything through, right? Super dark tint of windows, beat up van, maybe free candy scratched in the side with a knife, like a bloody knife. Now, something like that, you got a vanity plate that says Grabber. Then we've got a problem. You see what I mean? Police department urges residents who have run out of toilet paper to stop calling 911. Unbelievable. An Oregon police department is dealing with an odd emergency of its own during the coronavirus outbreak. Too many people calling 911 because they've run out of TP. The Newport Police Department reminded local residents that there are more urgent issues than being short on TP. I mean, seriously, though, that's another one of those signs that if this is the thing that goes bad and big, right, if this is the one, look how some people are already acting. I mean, it's going to be a whole new world for all of us, right? It'll be a whole new world for all of us. And it's going to look a lot like, eventually, in my opinion, it's going to look a lot like The Walking Dead and a lot of these shows that we've been programmed with for all these years. As time goes on, right, the shipments of food stop coming in and FEMA camps start taking you in and they can't feed you anymore. What are they going to do with you after a while, right? Things like this come into play. Just something to think about. But if it goes bad, if this is the big one, the big bad, and that's where we're heading, look how some of these people are already acting over toilet paper. Imagine some of these people with guns, and imagine them being in big groups, and imagine them not having any food to eat, but they see there's a light on in your house. Hey, I smell something really yummy. It smells like someone's cooking something over there. What is that, hobo stew? Perhaps it's chicken parmesan. Hey, guys, grab your machetes. Let's go check this out. Ding dong. Oh, hello. Come on in, guys. I'll set the table. That was really grim, I know. Just painting a picture for you. Doctors want to treat the virus with blood from recovered patients. Ruh-roh. I don't like that. don't like when they start trying to infuse us with blood from other people, because I know that's something that these Luciferians are into, right? They enjoy blood. The old adrenochrome, they say. Doctors searching for treatments to fight the virus say the answer may be in the blood of recovered patients. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University want to use a method known as convalescent serum, which involves harvesting virus-fighting antibodies from the blood of patients who have already beaten the illness. Dr. Arturo Casadevall, I can't say that name. Casadevall, maybe that's it, Casadevall, chair of the molecular microbiology and immunology department, said the treatment has not been implemented for decades in the U.S. through blood from survivors was used to treat the Spanish flu. Though blood from survivors was used to treat the Spanish flu. Man, why am I having trouble with this paragraph? It was that name that threw me off. Okay, I think I learned enough from this. It's just kind of like a weird one. Hideous rainbow house in Florida infuriates neighbors. Not all rainbows are a welcome sight in Florida neighborhoods. A $500,000 house in an upscale Naples community has been haphazardly smeared with a multicolored paint job after a father and son butted heads over the property, and locals aren't beaming about it. Dennis Liebman sued his son and co-owner Jeffrey Liebman to divide the house and force a sale after he missed 3 mortgage payments. They battled it out in court until a judge finally ordered Jeffrey to cooperate with the sale in July. That's when things turned ugly and colorful. I see what you guys did there. Jeffrey refused the judge's orders and wouldn't allow real estate agents to conduct any showings. Then he went on a rainbow rampage. Wow, I like that, rainbow rampage. That'd be a good title for a video, rainbow rampage. I like it. Neighbors told the Naples we are living in a rainbow ramp. Why is there a rainbow rampage? I'll figure something out. I've got the meat of it. Rainbow rampage. That's all I need. It's a rainbow rampage outside. Neighbors told the Naples Daily News they started seeing Jeffrey spray painting the 2,517 square foot house in splashes of bright hues: red, orange, yellow, pink, and purple. Everything was eventually covered, from the facade to the windows to the mailbox, and even a palm tree on the lawn. Anyway, there you go. That's what Jeffrey did. Jeffrey, look what you've done. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't like living next to that either. But you guys, it's terrible. Twitter loses it over revelation that Barack Obama follows prawn star Sarah J. This is one of those totally made up, dumb stories, still trying to put forth this idea that Barack Obama is a straight man and he's married to a woman. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. So they put this story out that, wow, man, Barack Obama, he's following porn star Sarah J. He's one of us, bro. Here it is. It says, I don't know about y'all, but seeing Sarah J trending made me feel even more connected to Barack Obama, my man, wrote one observer. While another said, Sarah J, Obama thought he was logged into his incognito account. No, you fools. You've been duped. Obama doesn't care about anything like that, unless she turns out to be a transsexual. I don't know who she is, but maybe she is. But I doubt that would be the story. I'm pretty sure she's most likely a biological female. But here we go with the story. He's a dude, man. He's such a bro, man. Barack Obama's so cool, man. He follows porn star Sarah J. He's such a dude, man, right? He's a bro. He's just like us, man. Yeah. He likes that puss. You know what I'm saying? High five, dude. I mean, I've known those people. You know those people. You might be those people. Naomi Campbell explains her hazmat suit amid virus pandemic. Well, I don't know if I can play this or it'll get clipped. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Let's go ahead and play it. But it's important. I want to show you something. There's a point to make here. I got a friend named, YouTube friend named Mad Guns Forever. He sends me stories from time to time, just throughout the week. He'll send stuff of interest, and if I want anything, I can use it, you know, and I'll show you. He sent me a couple things. He sent me a video of this lady talking about the hazmat suit, and I'll just show you this here. Just let me play this out real quick. Hold on.
I'm in LA. I'm flying back home to New York. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm not nervous to take this flight, but I am. The coronavirus is real. It is serious. We are all in the same boat. We are to learn something from this. We absolutely.
So it's Naomi Campbell. She's a model, if you didn't know, a famous model. But so, you know, of course, they have the tense, scary music, meow, meow, you know, the horror music in the background while she's putting on her biohazard suit. She's saying, oh, yeah, we're absolutely all going to learn something from this. But I'm going to show you how they use their tools, you know, to do their bidding. Now, remember, she's pushing this fear factor of it all and, you know, getting her bio suit. And yeah, guys, man, we're all going to learn something from this. It could be okay. You're going to really like what's coming. It's going to be good for everybody, except for Christians, anybody who's into God and Jesus. Oh, what's this? Naomi Campbell's Horus Eye Eco House. I mean, that's just one example. I covered this years ago when that story came out that one of her boyfriends, a billionaire or husband or someone, bought her this island and they built this house together. I mean, she's one of them. It's an obvious. She's one of them. This isn't the only example. There have been other, like the video I did was years ago, but there have been other examples of her showing the one eye and connected with the same symbolism. So we get that, you know. So of course, one example, but here's the other. So now Erykah Badu is wearing a stylish hazmat suit to accept award social distancing couture. But this is more of this stuff. This was during the, what show was this? Erykah Badu's eccentric, this is from March 12th, eccentric style became coronavirus chic, as she attended the Austin Film Society's Texas Film Awards in Austin, Texas, in a designer hazmat suit. She wore what she called a bootleg hazmat, an element of her own social distancing couture. The suit is branded with Louis Vuitton logos, spray painted in black and red. Anyway, but we get the idea. More of these people pushing this stuff out, hazmat suit and whatnot. This came out in the same week. That's why I thought it was interesting. Erykah Badu, and then we go here, and then there's tons of examples I can show you where she's sold out to that as well. You know, she's a part of it. She's one of them. There's a few examples in there. The Egyptian stuff, of course. The shh. You know about the shh. Don't tell the secrets. The ultimate secret, right? It's another one. The one eye. But that's just how they use, just an example, you know, a recent example of how they use their puppets, right? C virus predicted by blind mystic Baba Vanga, who said disease will be all over us. Gross. I don't want it all over me. Wow, what's this? Oh, that person's, okay, different story. The so-called blind mystic Baba Vanga predicted the coronavirus outbreak in 1996, it's been claimed. Bulgarian-born Baba supposedly foresaw 9/11 and Brexit along with the current pandemic, one of her followers has said. A woman who met the Balkan Nostradamus says that then elderly lady warned her that the virus will be all over us. This lady, Rebeva, 73, who coached several Bulgarian rhythmic gymnasts to become world champions, says Vanga predicted the virus when she visited her just before she died at age 84. Rebeva posted to social media writing, "The virus came to us too." She added, "Aunt Vega predicted when I visited her years ago, Neshka, the corona will be all over us. I did not realize what those words meant then. Corona is the Bulgarian word for guardianship and is associated with Russian leadership in the country." Rebeva added she thought it meant the country would be under Russian guardianship. Only now did I realize that it was the Chinese flu. May it go away easily. You can get in trouble these days for calling it the Chinese flu. They don't like that either. It's being racist. The clairvoyant reportedly predicted a dark 2020, saying Russian President Vladimir Putin would be killed in an assassination from inside the Kremlin, and U.S. President Donald Trump would suffer a brain tumor, leaving him deaf or dead. Huh. Vanga was the subject of a 2011 documentary called The Visible and Invisible World, in which it's claimed she had predicted Boris Yeltsin's second electoral victory in 1995 and warned him about his heart condition. The mystic's followers claim she had an 85% success rate with her predictions. However, many of her predictions, which run until 5079, jeepers, lady, take a breath, have turned out to be false, such as America's 44th president, Barack Obama, being the last president. Well, that's interesting. That's something to chew on. A lot of people did think he was going to be the last, and a lot of people think he's going to come back in some way. Wenger predicted horror for the U.S., warning in 1989 that the American brethren will fall after being attacked by the steel birds, with many interpreting these birds as a reference to the jets used in the 9/11 attacks. On the other hand, followers of Nostradamus' predictions claim the famed guy and writer also saw the virus coming when he wrote, "The land stained with blood and diverse plagues will be upon mankind" in 1555. There you have it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Class is in session.
Oh, this is just okay. We don't need to watch a lot of this, but this is, look at this. This is a new show on Netflix. Sorry, kids, if you're in the room, but this is on Netflix. So if you're watching Netflix, you're probably going to see this stuff unless you're on a child protected thing, which would be good. Be ideal, I would think. If you're a child, you don't need to see this stuff. Anyway, this is new on Netflix called The Cock Destroyers. Family fun for all, it seems. They teach sex education. Just going to play a few seconds of this so you get a feel for how idiotic this is and gross.
Rebecca. And I'm Sophie. Do you know what we are? We're fucking cock destroyers.
Yeah, that's about, now you know what she's going to do. Classy, right? Keeping it classy. I see stuff like this, and like I welcome the end of humanity. I welcome it all just to go away. Let's just go ahead and get it over with, Lord. Let's get out of here. You know, we're done. This is a virus too. This kind of thing is a virus. It's a spirit. This kind of stuff is it's all over. It's degeneracy. It's like the new Sodom and Gomorrah, or the new as in the days of Noah. Virus eerily predicted by card game from 90s and shows how it will end. You know the card game. Card game from the 1990s appeared to predict the virus outbreak, according to conspiracy theorists. The epidemic card from the board game Illuminati New World Order unleashes untold devastation on players, which some Reddit commentators believe can also be linked to the virus crisis. Posted in the conspiracy subreddit, That Kid said, "So our favorite card game from 1995 seems to know everything. Play card epidemic." He then included the card that showed a face mask, gloves, and medicine near body bags. The text for the card read, "Disaster. This is an attack to destroy any place. It does not require an action. Its power is 14. I have to look up if 14's symbolic here of anything. This is not an instant attack. Other groups can infer or interfere normally. If the attack succeeds, the target is devastated. This attack cannot actually destroy the target." There's epidemic. All the body bags. There's that. Crucially, it indicated there would be devastation, but not total destruction, a prediction that the world will recover from the current global pandemic. A commentator believed the card indicated a deeper truth, and that it was one of a series of events that had been predicted by the card game. He posted, "There's a point when coincidence no longer applies and prophetic guesses become more or less planned events. What are your thoughts on how accurate the game is on nearly every major event?" Anyway, yeah, it is an interesting one, isn't it? You can find a video. It's on YouTube, but of course it's hard to find anything on YouTube now, of the guy that made this game, the Illuminati card game. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's an interview he was doing with the comic people from a comic YouTube channel or something. And, he was very dry about it, but he said that, he did have a run-in with the CIA and with the government. They came and, I guess, raided. You'd have to look this whole story up. I can't remember all the specifics, but he had an interaction with the CIA or the FBI. And then right after that shortly after is when he developed and created the Illuminati card game, where so many cards in there have actually seemed to have taken place in real life. They even have a Lady Gaga. I mean, they've got, just even down to the way it looks, the way people look. That's why I see it as something more spiritual in nature. It could have been spiritually working through a person. Also, it could just be the hidden knowledge these people got through other people in the pyramid structure that got it from the spirits and they're handing it down. But anyway, there you go. Okay, now this right here is for the Q people. I saw this in a forum, then I bounced over here to this guy and checked his site out. He's called DNA J Lion 7. DNA J Lion 7, if you're interested in this. I'm about to show you. Because here's one of the guys this is one of those guys that's he's really into the Q stuff, all right? And now I'm not into that, okay? But he covers news, during his videos, and that's why I like him. I like different channels like this that just kind of cover news stuff. There's a few of them I'm sub to. So that's what I go here for. But, I bypass a lot of this other stuff. Again, I'm not really into the Q stuff. But this is something pretty weird he pointed out that just happened recently. So check this out. I'll just let him explain and show you.
This is a video where this happened this morning.
Happening. President saying that he and Nancy Pelosi don't have.
There seems to be some sort of green Q on the side of the Capitol this morning. This was on Fox News. So I know it's hard to kind of see that in that picture, so I'm going to show a close-up here of that. A green Q projected on the side of the Capitol. And it's definitely legit. It definitely happened because I just showed the Fox News clip where it was. And here's what Julian Drum pointed out. I think that actually this is a Q on the Cap building with the rabbit inside it, the white rabbit. And the rabbit, of course, has been symbolic of these satanic pedophiles. Q has often talked about the white rabbit, follow the right rabbit in relation to Alice in Wonderland, Alice representing Hillary Rodham Clinton, Wonderland representing Saudi Arabia. And the white rabbits he's even shown photos of adults in these rabbit costumes who are satanic pedophiles doing sick things. So here we have a Q with a white rabbit imprisoned inside the Q projected on the side of the Capitol building. Wow. So, okay. So
there you go. And don't get mad at me. I can already hear some people probably getting mad. Oh, you're into that Q stuff and blah, blah. I don't judge like that on stuff that harshly with people. I just know what I'm into, what works for me, and what I'm not down with. I've never been down with the Q thing. I've always been very suspect of any group like that, big group that claims to have big insider information, but you don't know who they are. I mean, come on. They tried that with Anonymous. Remember that? We Are Legion, huh? What do you think this is? Okay, so I just don't trust it. That's just me. Okay, that's me. But I've seen some interesting stuff pop out of it. I understand my audience is very diverse. There's all kinds of people listening right now, and there's all types of you that are going to listen later. And I really appreciate you, by the way. If I haven't said that lately, really, I do. I mean it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving your comments and sharing information and links and ideas. I appreciate all of it, man. You guys are awesome. Don't get me started on you guys, all right? I'm not just trying to butter your biscuit over here. It's almost like being a team, right? In a lot of ways. But that being said, so I know there's people out there in the audience that are into this Q stuff, So, I'll kind of show whatever I find from time to time of interest. I thought that was a weird little thing. I don't know what it means. I don't know if someone's really signaling that to you guys, or I don't know. But hey, there you go. Make of it what you will, We already did that. Let's go back a little. See what videos we got here. Oh, I already showed this one earlier. This was I should have gone to this earlier. It's the Twitter we were having trouble with. It's the folder turning green. And suddenly it's green.
It's a critical year for tackling climate change, and the government is committed to reaching net zero by 2050. But how much will coronavirus impact what many believed would be a green?
Taking to Twitter, somebody explain how it's
wild, huh?
magic is as simple as that.
All right, there you go. Saw it again. I think it's worthy. It's one of the weirdest vids I've seen in a while, as far as potential glitches in the Matrix, as we may want to call it. Queen quits Buckingham Palace over the virus fears. I'm not even going to get into the story. It's just another one of those headlines, another example of these people in high positions suddenly dipping out on what they're doing and going to other places. What could this be? We'll see. I suspect we'll see more of that as time draws on. It'll be something to be watching for. There's always signs like that we watch for. Big CEO corporate type folks, people of big corporations and media conglomerates and whatever, suddenly dipping out, especially when there's a bunch of them around the same period. And there have been quite a few of these kinds of situations here all around the world where people are well-known people, big movers and shakers in the world, are suddenly taken off. Think tank complains that the virus is killing globalization as we know it. The founder of a globalist think tank has written an article for Foreign Policy in which he complains that the coronavirus outbreak is killing globalization as we know it. Philippe Legrain, founder of the Open Political Economy Network, says that the spread of COVID-19 has been a gift to nativists, nationalists, and protectionists. Legrain argues that the virus could be the nail in the coffin for the current era of globalization because it has highlighted the downsides of extensive international integration while fanning fears of foreigners and providing legitimacy for national restrictions on global trade and flows of people. Well, especially, I'm definitely with him on the part where he says it highlights the downsides of extensive international integration because China runs 80% of our antibiotics and our medications as well. Most of our medication, that's where a lot of our medication comes from, and our antibiotics. That's not good, and that's what globalization did. It started putting countries doing. It seemed America was giving out the most, right? But American companies going to other countries and doing their thing, right? Anyway, we get it. Half-mile-long line at Costco in Southern California, empty shelves at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. We already know a lot of these stories, don't we? I figured I'd show you some of this stuff, these lines. Yeah, California is where it seems like it could be pretty crazy, but it's a huge state. California is not just Hollywood and Los Angeles, California is enormous. There's a lot of people there. There you go. Woke Walmart introduces pronoun buttons for workers. Have you ever been in the situation where you really want to know what someone's pronouns are, but you feel awkward about asking? Probably not. I mean, very few people outside the fashion and entertainment industries ever have, but that hasn't stopped Walmart from solving the problem. The retailer has introduced buttons for workers that proudly display their pronouns. The buttons, which are available for Walmart employees to purchase, are the wokest of flair for people who aren't satisfied just doing the bare minimum. 4 buttons have come out so far. One that says he, him, his, one that says she, her, hers, one that says they, them, theirs, and one that says ask me my pronouns. So there's going to be gangs of these people. Gangs of these people, because they're all going to come together. And they're all just as dumb as the next. They're going to have weapons. And these dum-dums are going to be hungry. And they see a light on in your place. Maybe they smell something nice outside. What is that? Fresh bread? They're baking fresh bread? Smells good. Wait, there's something sweet there too. That might be a cinnamon roll. Hey, dum-dums, grab your machetes. Let's go check this out. We know where that leads. I mean, it's idiocracy. We know this. This is what they've been doing. They've really been working extra hard on dumbing down humanity. Luckily, we're not all dum-dums. We don't all fall for this stuff. But I'm just saying, there are going to be people that do, and there are people that have, and there are people that are so fully programmed by this system, I don't know if we can reach them. Those people. Hey, check this out. Here's another one of those things we kind of watch for from time to time, correct? When it comes to signs of things. It's the mysterious Black Eye Club. Again, so many of the world's movers and shakers come up with these black eyes. Oftentimes it seems to be on the left eye. Of course, this, perhaps that's a raw ritual or some kind of a ritual for the darkening of the left eye or something. And of course, perhaps associated to the Luciferians. These are some of the ideas people have. Perhaps this is a sign they've, joined the club, signed the contract, whatever you want to say. Or maybe they had to get put in their place. Or maybe it's how the Freemasons do a humiliation ritual oftentimes. All right, check this out. Bernie Sanders, left black eye right there. And this is new vid, just over the last couple of days. It's a TikTok. It's a quick one. There we go. Looks like Bernie's got a left black eye. Right? Bernie's in the Black Eye Club. I feel like I saw a Dr. Phil one recently too, where he had a black eye. You guys, maybe you want to look that up, but I'm pretty sure Dr. Phil was seen out with a black eye as well. I mean, again, guy, we know this. I mean, come on. This isn't coincidence with a lot of the stuff we look into. We know that. It's so annoying, isn't it, that some people the coincidence. No, dumb. It's not. Okay. All right, go away, dumb. Sorry, I shouldn't be that way. Can't help it sometimes. Here you go, check this out. Speaking of people doing dumb things, this is apparently a new challenge. It's called, like, I don't know what, the big straw challenge or the super straw challenge or something like that. But check this out. This is a thing people are doing.
What we're going to use is going to be our drink of choice. And the object of the challenge is to drink out of this giant straw. All right, so let's see if I can do it. And the object of the challenge is to drink out of this giant straw. All right, so let's see if I can do it.
But really, that's, it is kind of funny, but it's also, it can be annoying. It's just to think that people, and now I'm not above it. I was a teenager once. Let me think back here. I got in a lot of trouble, but I really wasn't doing dumb stuff like that. I was stealing things. I got caught eventually for it, and I got in a lot of trouble. But I used to be a little thief. I was a little kid. And then I got in trouble in a really big way, and it changed everything. It changed my life and stuff. As a kid, I didn't do time or anything like that. But I definitely got in a lot of trouble for it. And I learned my lesson, that's for sure. So anyway, but I don't think I was running around doing stuff like this. Seems to be a new thing with the cell phones and all this, of course, for the young people now. I didn't have that as a kid, so maybe I would have been shoving a toilet roll in my mouth and trying to suck up a drink, I don't know, or planking. That seems like fun. Seems like something cool to do. Let's go take pictures of ourselves while we're being a plank, like as still as possible. Ha ha. Sounds like fun, right? Good times. Brazilian man transforms himself into a sinister human Satan creature with tattoos, piercings, and canine teeth. Just kind of showing you this. I read some of the article. There's no need to read it. It's just because we're looking at kind of the shock value of it. But here's some of the pictures of him from before going into it. But what I found on this is one of the guys. The other stories I've read and I've shown you guys about people doing these really intense, extreme transformations. There's always a bit of sadness in some of these, and we've even seen some cases like Zombie Boy where they committed suicide, right? So, but this is a different case. This guy is totally into this. He's happy he did it. And he even has a girlfriend that does it too. Yikes. How about waking up to that every morning, ladies? There's his girlfriend. She's into some weird stuff too. There you go. So they're happy with it. They're cool with it. You know, there you go. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I think it's weird and gross and right, but hey, man, some people, this is, you know, that's their expression. That's what he says. I wish it wasn't demonic. You know, I wish there's other ways we can express ourselves. There's other characters we can turn ourselves into. Why does it have to be a demon and a monster and something evil, you know? Interesting development with the virus happening. Sex workers face ruin amid virus fears. Brothel closures. Brothel closures. Interesting development. I think that's good news because a lot of women who are in that kind of work have been or will be into or, you know, having to deal with the sex trade, like on a really bad level, forced into it. Some of these women, you know, get into it on their own and get with these brothels and whatnot. But of course, a lot of women don't make that choice. A lot of women are forced into really, really bad things, really bad situations. A lot of children are too, of course. So any connections to that kind of a dark scene, it's good to see it get shut down, right? This is just weird. This guy, Jared Leto, is just, he's so weird, right? It's kind of a creeper to me, it seems. He went to a fashion show a couple years ago with a head. He was holding a head. It was a model of his own head. That was one of his things. He played the Joker in Suicide Squad. And afterwards, all these stories started coming out about the other actors and how everybody hated Jared Leto, basically, because he was method acting the entire time as the Joker. So he was actually mailing them things like dead rats and just random stuff and being a creep on the set and just always being the Joker, you know? It's one of these guys. It's one of those dudes. Is there anything more LA than learning about the C virus pandemic only after emerging from a 12-day meditation retreat in the desert, thereby also presumably undoing all the stress release that meditation retreat did? If there is, we can't think of it. That happened to Oscar winner Jared Leto, who posted about just such an experience on social media. Very pretty lady. Oh, that's Jared Leto. Yikes. Wow, 12 days ago, I began a silent meditation in the desert, he wrote in a post on Instagram. We were totally isolated, no phone, no communication. We had no idea what was happening outside the facility. The facility? What kind of facility? Walked out yesterday to a very different world, one that's been changed forever, he continued. Mind-blowing, to say the least. I'm getting messages from friends and family all around the globe and catching up on what's going on. Hope you and yours are okay, sending positive energy to all. Stay inside, stay safe. I'm sure his retreat has something to do with weird New Age or Luciferian, something like that. But I like the idea of going away for 12 days or however long it is. Yeah, 12-day retreat and not having your phone with you and no electronics or anything. I like that idea. That's great. Doing it anywhere. Yeah, just go somewhere, 12 days. No phone with you. Tell everyone ahead of time you're going to be gone for a while. Just go away for a while, you know. I don't know what you'll do. Depends on what you're into. But there's other things we can do, right, than watch TV and, you know, look at our phones. Veering into the world, thief returns 2,000-year-old artifact after 15 years. An Israeli man returned a 2,000-year-old catapult bolt to the Israel Antiquities Authority some 15 years after he took off with it while visiting the archaeological site of the Jerusalem Walls National Park in the city of David, saying he wanted to clear his conscience before the end of the world. The time has come to clear my conscience. It feels that the end of the world is near, the remorseful man said, according to an Israel Antiquities Authority press release. The anonymous man didn't return the artifact, also known as a ballista stone, directly, but used a go-between. The original theft occurred when two rebellious youths touring City of David site close to the old city of Jerusalem came across the ballistae, I guess that's what you call them, which had been catapulted at fortifications. One of the boys took one of the stones home. Meanwhile, he married and raised a family and told me that for the past 15 years, The stone's been weighing heavily on his heart. And now, when he came across it while cleaning for Passover, together with the apocalyptic feeling that the coronavirus has generated, he felt it was time to clear his conscience, and he asked me to help him return it to Israel Antiquities Authority. There you go. I'm sure we'll be seeing more stories like this as time goes on. There's so much programming of it. There just last few months ago on Netflix, they had a series called It's the End of the Effing World. Isn't that one of the shows, right? It's called It's the End of the Effing World. There's been so much of that kind of programming anyway for so many years now, right? Plague of locusts set to descend upon Middle East in time for Passover. Interesting. A plague of locusts, the likes of which have been unseen for over 30 years, is about to hit Africa and the Middle East, adding to the perfect biblical storm. The current coronavirus pandemic is affecting travel of international experts and in-country gatherings for training to combat the locust threat. Wow, there you have it. Living in coincidental self-quarantine, some Big Brother contestants around the world are still to learn about the coronavirus pandemic. Kind of like that Jared Leto story. There's people on the television show Big Brother. Not here. It's not happening here in America right now, but it's in other countries. It's taking place, and they've been inside the house. And some of you know, or maybe you didn't know, many years ago, many moons ago, I worked in Hollywood on reality TV shows, and Big Brother is one of those shows I worked on for a couple of seasons. And I still watch it to this very day. And of course, it's filled with New World Order. I mean, it's all about Big Brother, right? It's all about New World Order programming and all that. But when you're on the show working on it and with the people in there, there is a possibility that the people like Alison Grodner and the people at the very top are well aware of all what's going on and what it means. There is, I get that, because you never have contact with them. You do everybody else, though, and even all the producers and writers, and yes, there's writers and all that stuff. They don't really write so much as they create a type for you. You know, they put you in a category. They kind of create a type for the people. It's a thing they do. But anywho, there you have it. This is a fight at Sam's Club that people got into with freaking wine bottles. Look at this. Cuckoo. This is about the virus fear.
It is just awful to see that. That is how dangerous panic can be. That was the chaos at a local Sam's Club. It's video shot in Hiram. Police say two customers started fighting, hitting each other with wine bottles. They were both cut by the glass, both expected to be okay. Investigators say they plan to charge a total of 3 people in this incident.
Sheesh. Now, I mean, again, I hate to say it, but, you know, again, if this is the big bad and if it gets really, really bad, then what we're seeing right here, this is kindergarten stuff. This is, I was going to say it's like watching Disney, but Disney's about as wicked as it gets. It's like watching VeggieTales. What you're watching right now is be compared to, it's like VeggieTales compared to how bad I think it's going to get. And again, that's not to promote it. I don't want fear, destruction, doom, but a lot of us know that has to come. You know, and a lot of us, I've been watching this for years. It's what I do. We know what time it is. We know that this could very well be it. You know, this could be the beginning of it all, the real unfolding of that final beast system, and then the introduction of him, you know, the Antichrist. Wow, this is nuts. Kamikaze Greenies. Extinction Rebellion plots suicide stunts. Again with these people. I did a video on them not long ago. Most of these people are pretty well off. They're like middle class, some of them upper middle class, pretty well to do. They don't need to be doing this dumb stuff, but it also goes back to that kind of white guilt that's been forced upon humanity for so many years now. And we see this is from those seeds. We see that this is grown. That's the way I see it. This is part of that. Mooted tactics include, Extinction Rebellion activists increasingly overshadowed by the virus have been discussing new and ever more desperate ways to grab attention for their next big publicity stunt. Their mooted tactics include committing suicide in public, hunger strike to the death, painting Parliament green, spraying traffic lights black, blocking every station, airport, and motorway in Britain, and scare the F out of people. Awesome. That's not the Antichrist spirit, huh? Of course it is. These are among the actions proposed on Elite XR discussion document titled Vital Additions to Action Strategy. They appear in a list under the heading Top Ideas from the Sessions. The radical ideas seem to be a response to concerns within Extinction Rebellion that the public have grown slightly bored with or even irritated by their antics. For example, the protests in October last year when the activists were filmed being pelted with missiles and dragged off a tube train in London by angry commuters trying to get to work is described in a Extinction Rebellion discussion document as arguably problematic for the movement and alienating. This, the document explains, is because at the present time we simply do not have the numbers needed to achieve our goals through mass civil disobedience. Extinction Rebellion has been conducting interviews with journalists to find out which of their stunts play well with the media and which don't. Ugh. That's all I need to know about these people. This is short footage, 8 seconds really, but this is a New York Times article came out about a guy named Matt Colvin. You may have heard of this guy. He went up buying 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, and then later they found he was trying to sell some of these bottles for like $70 a pop. Anyway, looks like he's turning it all over to the authorities here. That's him right there in the black coat. Cool dude. Says after the NYT article about Matt Colvin, guy who amassed 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, the Tennessee Attorney General shut him down and has been going to his storage units to facilitate the, quote, donation of the items to local community groups and first responders. That's just pig, though. That's pig. A pig way to do things, you know, especially with everything happening now, is just to sit there and try to hoard everything, you know, for yourself like that. And especially to try to resell it, you know, make a profit off it like that during these times, profiting off people's pain. It's a frenzy. The rich are making a run on the banks in the Hamptons. From Zero Hedge, another example here. Bank runs, right? Where they start pulling out all the cash. That's where the bank runs are. That can create big problems for banks. Speaking of big problems, okay, here's something you need to know. Frickin' YouTube, man. Frickin' YouTube. Always up to some shenanigans. Says we have teams at YouTube as well as partner companies that help us support and protect the YouTube community, from people who respond to users and creator questions to reviewers who evaluate videos for possible policy violations. Yeah, thanks. These teams and companies are staffed by thousands of people dedicated to helping users and creators. As the C virus response evolves, we are taking the steps needed to prioritize the well-being of our employees, our extended workforce, and the communities where they live, including reducing in-office staffing in certain sites. Our community guidelines enforcement today is based on a combination of people and technology. Machine learning helps detect potentially harmful content and then sends it to human reviewers for assessment. As a result of the new measures we're taking, we will temporarily start relying more on technology to help with some of the work normally done by reviewers. This means automated systems will start removing some content without human review. Ruh-roh, what'd you say? This means automated systems will start removing some content without human review. So we can continue to act quickly to remove violative content and protect our ecosystem. Oh my gosh, you people. While we have workplace protections in place. Man, YouTube used to be the most awesome, amazing thing ever. It was a juggernaut. I mean, I never would have thought it could be stopped. It was incredible. Years ago, I've been on for a decade. YouTube used to be amazing. Amazing. Look at all the control they have on this now. Now look at this. It gets worse. You ain't seen nothing yet. As we do this, users and creators may see increased video removals. Hey! As we do this, users and creators may see increased video removals. Of course, under the guise of the C virus, now they can do even more of this stuff, right? Including some videos that may not violate policies. Did you hear that? So now, as a creator on YouTube and a user, we're going to see more videos being removed, including some videos that don't even violate the policies. So anything's open game. Guys, this is why, I'm not kidding when I tell you, and I've said it forever, I pray over my channel all the time. I just say, Lord, please, it's in your hands. I'm still here. I'm fighting. I'm doing what I can do, but I got to give it to you because I can't stop these people. I don't look what we're dealing with here. This is out of my hands, so please protect the channel, my place to, do my work, and just thank you. That's all I can say, but it's in his hands. That's where I have to have faith. And when they do stuff like this, it just keeps getting worse. Now the gloves are off with these people. I mean, you thought it was bad before, and I hate seeing this because so many great YouTubers are gone. Man, so many. Man, I used to be subbed to quite a few really cool little channels. Some that maybe a lot of you didn't know about because a lot of you are subbed to channels like that too. Just little treasures you find that haven't really gotten that popular yet, but you really like what they're doing. I found a lot of those in the past and they just disappear. They get taken out. So as we do this, users and creators may see increased video removals, including some videos that may not violate policies. We won't issue strikes on this content except in cases where we have high confidence that it's violative. If creators think that their content has been removed in error, they can appeal the decision and our teams will take a look. However, note that our workforce precautions will also result in delayed appeal reviews. Of course, we'll also be more cautious about what content gets promoted. Oh boy, I thought I'd already been stuffed in a digital ghetto for, it's been a couple of years now, but again, you just gotta pray about this stuff because including live streams. Oh boy, just hear that? We'll also be more cautious about what content gets promoted, including live streams. In some cases, unreviewed content may not be available via search on the homepage or in recommendations. That is a huge change on YouTube. It's no big deal. I haven't heard anybody talking about this stuff. In some cases, unreviewed content. So you get a hit from the machine. You ask for a review. Unreviewed content may not be available via search on the homepage or in recommendations. So until your content's reviewed, then they'll let it show up on the homepage or in recommendations, is what they're telling us. Unreviewed content may not be available via search on the homepage or in recommendation. It's unbelievable. They are ripping this website apart. It's like a robot. I picture like a big old juggernaut robot. And it's been ripped and it's down to nothing. It's down to its body, the head, but the head's hanging off by wires. And now they're picking out the eyes and taking off some of the bolts and just picking it clean is the way I picture what these people, these vultures have done to YouTube. Just picking it clean. All eligible creators will still be able to monetize videos, and this does not change the updates on monetization to the C virus related videos we shared last week, and will continue to enforce our policies regarding C virus content, including removing videos that discourage people from seeking medical treatment or claim harmful substances have health benefits. Oh boy. There you have it. All right, YouTube. Gosh, I hate you, but I am grateful. It's such a paradox. It really is. I hate you, but I'm very grateful for you. I'm grateful. It's been a damn good ride, I got to say. And I really loved you in the beginning. We had some good years together. But I'm grateful I'm still here. I pray about it every day. I hope y'all pray because there's power in prayer for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. And there you have it, man. The new YouTube. Just a fun one I thought I'd play for you. It's just a lady's reaction to some madness she's seeing out there concerning the you know what.
Y'all, I'm a middle-aged woman. And up until today, I have managed to not ever have to do a rant video on Facebook, but apparently today, y'all, I'm a middle-aged woman. And up until today, I have managed to not ever have to do a rant video on Facebook, but apparently today is my day. Just left the grocery store, and as we all know, the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever we're calling it this week, has driven people completely insane. And the woman in line in front of me, just apropos of nothing, just starts shrieking at the poor little guy ringing her up that he has just touched his face and that he therefore must wash his hands. Just shrieking this to the top of her lungs. So I'm assuming she surely to God must be the head of the CDC because she says it was such conviction. And by the way, lady, you're not supposed to touch your face. Doesn't really matter as much if he touches his. I digress. The little guy says, I can't wash my hands right now. She says, I'll wait. Great, well, I'll wait, I guess, lady. He says, I have hand sanitizer. So he takes like a quarter of a little squirt, does this little thing on his hands for about a quarter of a second, which basically would have just served to incite a riot and maybe kill off 2 small, weak germs, to which the head of the CDC in her kitten-covered lab coat nods and fervently agrees that he's, saved the universe with that. He kind of refrains from rolling his eyes, which I think makes him a saint. And then she goes on to whip out her credit card and use the debit pad that every finger-licking, booger-picking, double-digit IQ idiot has touched all day long after going to the bathroom and not washing their hands. And then she just walks on out with her groceries, completely oblivious to the fact that everyone who handled those groceries prior to her getting them has left their little touch and trace of germs all over them. That going down the conveyor belt, they probably picked up chicken juice and everything else. But thank God that kid used that quarter of a squirt of Purell. She has saved the day and kept us all safe from the coronavirus. Y'all, it doesn't matter what we do. There's so many stupid people in this world. We're never going to survive anyway. So touch your face. Just touch it. Just touch it. It's all that's left.
Yeah, that was nice. Love it. Love it. Oh, this one last night was one of those weird ones I kind of stumbled into. This was another connection to, I fell down a bit of a rabbit hole, as I do from time to time, on all these subjects. And this particular subject was that Q stuff again. But even here I found this guy was saying, a lot of people were saying last night, I don't know how real all this is, that something happened on Google, because you can look this up, but a lot of people were looking up adrenochrome on Google last night and clicking images, and it was showing all the images that people say have been hidden for like the last year or so, like all the good stuff. Used to be you'd go on there and look up adrenochrome, you wouldn't find any real information. We know how Google's turned, right? But that was one of those things I saw last night. I saw a lot of people talking about that. And maybe if you're interested, you can try to find that rabbit hole and look it up. But then I was finding stuff like this. They're saying that somebody looked up the Democratic Party on Google and it had a rat. So they're saying that they think somebody associated with Q, hacked into Google or maybe they're inside Google and released, the constraints. I don't know. I know it sounds really dumb. I don't know why I showed this to you. It's just one of those things, weird things I found. Let's see here. I think I already allowed this. All right, guess not. Last story is not even a very big story, not even really important. It's just more of this nonsense with putting men out in public and putting them in fishnets, heels, and stuff like this. This is this guy, Harry Styles. I guess he was a singer in some band in the UK. And now they've got him, they're promoting him. And oh, wow, what a quirky sense of style he has got with fishnet tights and heels. And this is the man, of course. And I think he's done this kind of stuff, I think, before. Wearing dresses. There's one down here, but that. More of that nonsense. Anyway, there you go, guys. Final story of the night. Here we have it. Let me jump back over here to the chat, say hi to everybody for a bit, and find a new background to put on here while we're just hanging out for a little bit. Try this one. That's a good one. Hey, guys, thanks again, man, so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. There was some of that C virus stuff in there, but once again, it's going to be really hard to avoid any of that, as every day we'll be seeing more and more. And we got to keep our eyes peeled and just see how this thing starts playing out. I'm not a predictor of the future. I don't know. I see a lot of possibilities, and the same possibilities a lot of you see. We've already discussed. So let's not live in fear. I want to say thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters out there, guys. Thank you so much, for real, man. You mean everything. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks for the moderators out there. Thanks to all of you for your prayers, also your encouragement. I appreciate that. For sharing links and story ideas, I appreciate that as well. I always like to end these shows on a little prayer. I like to just say real quick, Heavenly Father, thanks for tonight. Thanks for the fact we can all get together. We can watch the signs of the times together and hopefully keep it in a good perspective. and to not be living in fear of all the things that are coming. And I just pray, Father, you guide all of us. There's a lot of people out there that got little ones and family, and some people even pregnant and have little bitty babies, and they may be getting a little bit concerned and scared. And Father, I just pray you be with everyone out there, keep all of us focused on you, knowing that you're a loving God. You'll guide us through all this, and just thank you. And I love you. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, guys. Hey, on that note, I'll just say thanks again for being here. You guys have a great night. I've got more shows coming up. I've got an interview I'm doing with a gentleman that jumped on my last live show. You guys probably remember that. I told him we were going to do that. So that'll be coming up, and a bigger video and a really short video also. Just something really crazy I saw. I'll have to show it to you. And that's it. All right, man. Take care till next time. I'll talk to you later.